Greetings and salutations, everybody. This is Emmanuel. Just to let you know, there are just a few technical hiccups which may or may not be noticeable, but still, it was a great interview and a great show. Hope you enjoy.
I'm just going to speak for myself because I like to have a plan. Have a plan, but also an understanding that your plan might not be the plan. And at any moment, things can shift and change. And instead of getting defeated about it or skeptical or negative, if it's really what you want to do, yeah, we're going to have challenges and everything. So have a thick skin. Yes, you should. At the same time, you should have a very, very thick understanding of who you are so that you can't be swayed by anyone.
What's going on, everybody? This is indeed the E-Man, chilling like the villain, singing like Bob Dylan, keeping on the road with some dub stuff for the Joes. And I want to say, 2 years ago, I had this incredible actress, singer on my show. It's received a lot of positive views and comments, and she's so gracious enough on Easter of all days to come back and talk to me because I had some other stuff I wanted to talk to her about, and she is the incredible Tyren Perry. Welcome back to the show, Tyren. Thank you for coming back.
Thank you so much. I'm so happy to be back on again. This is going to be fun.
Yes, it will be. And how are you enjoying your Easter holiday so far? Everything good?
It's been great. I've just been relaxing, just keeping it mellow today. I figured I was going to do that for the weekend anyway, but we hung out with family, did our whole thing, and now just relaxing.
Woosah, right? Woosah.
Or we start back week.
Definitely. So the last time you were on the show, and that video got a lot of, like I said, it got a lot of good reviews. Your sister actually made a comment on it. She said it was a great interview. I had my sister, she made a comment on it, and she said it was a great interview. I had one person say that they were so happy to hear you sing one of the songs from the real Ghostbusters soundtrack, "Charge It Up," and he said it made him feel like a kid again, so he was really happy. So I really thank you so much. When you hear stuff like that, how does that make you feel?
Grateful. I feel grateful because it's fun for me. That's the stuff it makes me feel good to create and do things like that, but it's equally as wonderful when you know that there's people who resonate with it and their feedback is positive. We can get negative feedback. It's good to learn from, but to know that it's people actually appreciate it and love it is really cool.
It is really cool. Speaking of Tahini, who was you and the girl, I forgot her name. I'm sorry. Have you talked to her lately, or do you know how she's doing?
Yeah, that's Tanya Townsend. And yes, we were in the group Tahiti together, and we did the real Ghostbusters soundtrack for the animation. And I have not talked to her since I think it was right after we had finished recording the actual show came out, and then I went off to do my solo album, and I didn't hear from her again. We didn't really get to do any shows.
We touched on this before, but I wanted to ask you. You were on the show Bustin' Loose, which was like a spin-off of the movie, or it was it was a TV show that was a spin-off of the movie. Now, who sings the theme song? Because that theme song has been in my head for years. Do you have any idea?
I don't want to say the wrong thing, but it's a main person from either the Temptations. I think it might be the Temptations, or I don't want to mess it up, but it is an actual legit professional albums out back in the day. I'm mad that I don't remember his name, but yeah, or even the name of the group. But I believe it was the Temptations, but I don't want to be wrong.
Was it Levi Stubbs from the Temptations? Because he did the voice of Audrey 2 from Little Shop of Horrors. Is it this? It kind of sound when you said the Temptations.
It might be because they do have similar voices. If I'm thinking about what you just said
Yes. Oh my gosh, I love that
Might be.
movie. Um, so we didn't get a chance to talk about your album last time. It's called "Don't Rush It," and it came out in May 1st, 1989. You worked with Ollie Brown, you worked with Ray Parker Jr., and you worked with Chucky Booker. You know, Chucky. I mean, what was it like working with those people? And what was it like having your own solo album?
I was so young, and it was what I had wanted to do anyway. So from my standpoint, it's like I'm making music, and then all of a sudden there's Ray Parker Jr. in the studio with you, and they're working on with
Yeah,
the other. I'm watching it, but this is like, for me, it was more like, this is my job, this is what I'm doing. I'm working, but it's like it's all the things that I've wanted to do. So I'm very grateful for it. It was, but as a kid, you're going, oh my gosh, this is great. But because I was working all the time, it became like second nature to go into the studio and maybe, Chucky Booker's in there putting the his part on for the song. It was great, but I'm a kid, so I don't understand how great it is, like
yeah.
the enormity of it. So no, but looking back now, yes, fantastic.
Like, when you came out with the solo album, was it right around the time you were on Bustin' Loose, or was it before?
I believe no, my album came out a little bit before um the show had, I think, aired, like way before the show had aired, but it was out already. It
Okay.
was I had done that.
Okay. Now,
Mhm.
when I had a chance to like re-listen to the album, and like some of my favorite tracks are like "Better Late Than Never," "Hey Mr. Postman," "What's Up." A lot of those songs sound like they could have been played on an episode of A Different World. You know what I'm saying? Which is like one of my favorite shows growing up. Because there's a scene in A Different World where they play Jasmine's Try Me, and it kind of gives me that vibe. So for
Oh,
you, when
yeah.
yeah, you know what I'm talking about. So, like, for you, when you go back and listen to your album, what are some of your favorite songs? What do you remember when you were recording those songs?
um, okay,
I know it's
let's
been a
see.
minute.
Better Late Than Never was fun. I enjoyed that song. Actually enjoyed singing that song when I had to do like performances back then.
Yeah,
Um, I will say Hey Mr. Postman was my most challenging song, but and it was a song that, I don't know, my personality back then especially was like, okay, I'm going to do this. I'm not going to let the song conquer me. I'm going to actually, but my mom was in the studio, and so I'm a belter when I sing anyway. So my mom's like, we're going through this stuff, and she's talking about where I should drop a run there and whatever. And I'm thinking, and I'm singing all of that. And she's like, and we're going to do the escalation up to the actual final note. Like, that's why I'm saying it was a challenge, because I was like, that is something that I had not ever done.
right,
And that one exclusive slide right on up to the escalation, I would have never thought to do that on my own. But my mom was like, that's what you're going to do. Enjoy. And I was petrified. But at the end of it, I did it. And when I look back on it, I'm like, I can hear that I was a little scared, but only because I can. And
right,
and so if I could go back and talk to her, I'd be like, don't even worry about it. It sounds way better than you think it does. Leave it alone. Don't even feel bad about it, because it was, for me and my 15, 16-year-old self, I was like, that's my most embarrassing track. And then it became the song that everybody really loved. And so
yeah.
every time I was like, oh,
There's like, I don't know. I feel like, and tell me if you agree with this statement or not. I feel like young singers around your age, or in the 70s, sorry, not 70s, sorry, in the 80s and 90s, they had a maturity to their voice to where they could pull off songs that had mature content. And I feel like when I hear your voice, you have such a maturity to your singing voice. It reminds me a lot of do you know who Rona Bennett is?
the name sounds familiar, but I apologize. I do not know right offhand.
Well, Rona Bennett was on the show called The Mickey Mouse Club. And from the Mickey Mouse Club came Justin Timberlake, JC Chasez, Ryan Gosling, all those kids. And she was she always had this like really mature voice. And I feel like you, her, like Brandy, you had, I don't know if it's because of who you guys listen to or if you guys were raised in church, but you guys had like a maturity to your voice that's undeniable, So I mean, especially around that age, I think it's really cool.
I definitely grew up singing in church. So I was in the choir and on the praise team. And yeah, that I can see how that my mom's a singer, so I always thought, but then again, you're young. I always thought that in context, my voice wasn't as full as some of the other singers, but that's you being a teenager and the comparison and stuff. But when I look back on it, yes, I did have a slightly more mature voice.
Yeah,
So, I mean, it sounds youthful, but when I'm singing, it's different, I would say. And I think that I have to say that comes from genes and church.
definitely. And I mean, I remember you telling me in the last interview too, like Whitney Houston played a huge part as far as being an influence on your voice, and so I can hear that too. Just randomly, did you ever audition for the Mickey Mouse Club or did you audition for Sister Act 2? Because I feel like you would have fit right in if you ever auditioned for those um the show or the movie.
Funny. I auditioned for the Mickey Mouse Club and I thought it would be great because, my mom loved the Mickey Mouse Club. I didn't really think anything of it. It was before the Justin Timberlake days and stuff. So,
Okay.
but did not get it. And I was, you know what? You're disappointed at some points. You might be disappointed.
Yeah.
But then in this case, I was like, I was already getting ready to work on other stuff, so it didn't bother me as much. That was for the Mickey Mouse Club. And then for Sister Act, because Sister Act 2 is the one with Lauryn Hill,
Yes.
right?
Yes,
Right.
one of my favorite movies of all time.
A fun fact for you, when I auditioned for the movie, I went up for the same role that Lauryn Hill did, and I actually went all the way through to the final auditions of the sit around the table with all of the rest of the actors
Yeah.
and went through script and did the stuff. And then I think it was like not too long after, like maybe a week later, they had said they had found another person that was better for the role. And I'm glad they did because I love her in the role. I think it's perfect. It was perfect.
Wow. Wow. I was really taking a lucky guess there, but I was like, I have a good feeling that, you know what I'm saying, she would, because you would have fit right in. You had singing experience, you had the acting experience. Man, and man, what a movie, man. What a movie. I could talk about that for hours. All right, so you were a part of the Quincy Jones project, which was part of his album called Back on the Block, and the single was called Tomorrow, and Tomorrow featured Tevin Campbell. Okay, I just gotta give you context. Like, I would watch that video all the time. Like, my sister had like, when we got a VCR, man, we you can't tell us nothing. We recorded all of these videos, and it went in this order: "Dial My Heart" by the Boys. Shout out to the Boys. "Lucky Charm," Biv 10 All Stars, All for One and One for All, and "Tomorrow" by Tevin Campbell and the Quincy Jones. And but we would watch those videos all the time. When I listened to it as a kid, it always made me happy. But as an adult, it has a totally different meaning now, and it resonates with me in such a way where it almost makes me emotional. So I want to know for you, when you were a part first, how did you become a part of that project? And what was it like
Um,
working with the late great Quincy Jones and of course, the legendary Tevin Campbell?
I was invited into the Popcorn Kids because that's what they ended up branching off and doing after that was the Popcorn Kids, and then we ended up doing another. We did the Arsenio Hall show with Marvin Hamlish.
Okay.
Um, Two songs at night. Tomorrow was one, and then one song was another. But my sister had been singing with. I grew up at church, like I said, so there were like church choirs from different churches that kind of knew each other, and my mom knew Andre Crouch and the family. So
Wow.
of like if they were coming up with different groups and wanted to get a team group, then that's how that came about. And then when it came time for the music video, it was three of us because at first I believe it was just Jenny and Jamie, and then I came in later because they
Okay.
were younger kids, but they wanted some older ones. So yeah, that's how that started. And working with Quincy Jones was actually really really cool. He was very nice, very nice.
Cool. What about Tevin?
Oh, Tevin, we part of the Popcorn Kids. We were always around each other, so he was just like our brother. We were all of us were like pretty cool with each other.
Did you kind of like, I mean, and everybody has talent, but did you kind of recognize the fact that this kid's voice was just so pure and effortless?
Oh no, everybody, adults and kids, we could you could hear it, you could feel it. It's an energy. He's he's blessed with a beautiful voice.
Absolutely, man. I mean, like, so when you listen to it now, and I'm pretty sure you listened to it recently, I don't know, but when you listen to it now and knowing that you were a part of it and knowing what you guys are singing, oh, by the way, Salida Garrett wrote that song. For people who don't know, she wrote Man in the Mirror,"
Mhm.
and I mean, like I say, when I listen to it now, it does something to me more as an adult than ever before. But then also, like I said, the background singers, you guys have it's not it's a strong choir, and just to name a few people, like I mean, like again, my sister and I watched that video, and we had arguments, legitimate arguments. So like, wait a minute, that's the kid, that's Eddie Winslow from Family Matters, but it wasn't. It's actually his brother Donovan, and I'm like, oh crap, that's the kid from Ghost Dad, which is Salem Grant, and I think his sister's in the video too. Her name is Crystal, right? Um, but anyway, all of these talented, I could have swore I saw Michael J. Fox, but it wasn't Michael J. Fox in the video. It was another white kid. Um, but now, when you listen to it, how does it make you feel?
Well, we feel differently listening to it now because we're lifing. We're not just
Yes,
life is you've had to traverse through the lands of life. So you have a greater appreciation for those lyrics because we live that every single day now. It's not like, oh, we could just go ahead and let our parents handle that other stuff that we don't need to know about. We're living it. So it's a, I'm grateful that I was a part of it. And yeah, it's, it means something different now listening.
yes, absolutely. Albright, isn't his name? Last name is Albright.
Is it
Saxophone.
Gerald Albright?
Yes,
Mm.
yes, he's in it. Oh man, it's such a great video.
Yep.
Um, and
And then,
both of you said both of your sisters in it too, right?
yep.
Wow. Um,
And Quincy Jones's daughters are also in it.
whoa, I didn't even see them in it.
You gotta,
Wow. Michael Jackson biopic is coming out. And I really want to know what you think about the trailer and what you think of. Are you, being that you're a fan of Michael, like everybody is? And by the way, thank you so much for being a part of the Michael Jackson project that I did a few months back. That I really, I really enjoyed that doing that, and thank you for being a part of that. What are your feelings about the trailer, the movie as a whole? Being that you have a Jackson family connection, you met him, you babysitted for Jermaine. So, what are your feelings about the movie as a whole?
I'm excited to see the movie. However, because I am excited and because with trailers they always show a lot, I think I watched part of one trailer or one, there was a shorter trailer they had. I watched that and that was it. I haven't seen anything else because I'm like, I don't want to make my judgments now. I'd rather just wait, watch the movie because not it would be anything bad, but I'm interested in seeing because they tried to tell a story before.
Right.
We've had certain yes,
They did it with the Jackson Family movie, which starred Jason Weaver, Angela Bassett, Bumper Robinson. They had a whole bunch of people, and it was a TV movie. It spread out for a whole week. I remember that. Um, but
yeah,
yeah, I mean, but you, like I said, like you babysitted Jermaine's kids. So you babysitted Jafar, right? Like you took care
yes,
of Jafar.
we're like way like very, very little. I
Uh,
babysat for him when they were really, really little. And it was my mom and some other and the Crouches were all doing they would do events and stuff. So they would be the Jackson Lounge and all that. So there was they all the adults and some of the kids had to go to be a part of whatever the event was that they were doing. And I wasn't doing that event. So they were like, "You don't mind watching the kids, do you?" And I was like, "Nope, I don't." So while they all were performing, I was with kids watching them. So
Nice, nice. And final question I have for you, um, is one, I don't think I asked you this before, but first, how can people reach you? Second, like what kind of overall advice you would give to anybody who wants to get into the entertainment industry?
mm, advice for someone who wants to get into the entertainment industry is have. I'm just going to speak for myself because I like to have a plan. Have a plan, but also an understanding that your plan might not be the plan. And at any moment, things can shift and change. And instead of getting defeated about it or skeptical or negative, if it's really what you want to do, just everything, flow with the tides. Just, we're going to have challenges and everything. So you have to have, like they say, you should have a thick skin. Yes, you should. At the
Okay.
same time, you should have a very, very thick understanding of who you are so that you can't be swayed by anyone. Know the type of artist you want to be, know the type of actor, performer you want to be, and stick with that. If that's what you really believe in and that's what you really love, then you don't have to shift that. I think a lot of us need to go back to authenticity. That's what I would say. Make sure you're authentic and you're yourself.
Authentic, definitely. And how can people reach you through your social media platforms?
Instagram, I don't even know them all offhand. I know Instagram. Instagram is at official Tyren Perry. And then I think that's the same for Threads. I think you can get me on Threads and all of. I think that's yeah, that's about it. If you go to Facebook, because I barely ever go on there, you just type in my name, I guess, because I barely go on there.
Thank you so much for your time. I'm glad we got today. We got it done. Thank you. And you look fantastic, and I'm so
You,
happy to have you back on and I was able to talk to you today. You did say you almost got the Sister Act 2 role, right? Because I think it cut off right there.
I think yes, there was two movies that I technically got the lead for. One was for a movie called Mi Vida Loca, and the other was the Sister Act 2. But like I said, it was in the last part of where you audition, which we would just the final countdown. And I did the table with everyone that was in the movie. And then we just, we let it go. And then, like I said, it was like a week later, they were like, we decided to go with someone else, which I was like, of course, in the moment, you're like, dang, so close. But when I watched the movie, like I said, she's perfect. I don't see anybody else doing that role but her. So
It's yeah. But it would have been cool to see you still be in the classroom as one of the students, snapping jokes or whatever and singing. Part of Twism, right?
yes.
And there's been two interviews by both Backstreet Boys and NSYNC where Shaq was really close to signing both of those groups. Were you around that time when they were about to be signed by Shaq?
You mean in the very beginning before they had anything out?
Right. He said like one of his biggest regrets was not signing them to Twism because he was going to sign them, but he instead he let them use the studio to make a song or what have you.
I,
Were you
it might
guys
it might have coincided with our once our album was done because when we did our album, there was also another group that he ended up signing as well, but it was a male group. Um,
okay?
so it could have been around that time because he was looking for other artists as well. But I
Okay.
never got to meet him.
Okay. Okay.
Shaq
Cool.
or Shaq we met, but not the Backstreet Boys or any of us.
Are in sync. Okay, cool. Because when I saw they were on the Hot Ones and they said that I was like, oh crap! I wonder if they met with She. That would have been a cool collaboration too.
It
Yeah,
would.
man.
It was fun though. I mean, being on the his label was fun, and doing the shows was fun.
All
I'll
right,
talk to you
ciao.
soon.
Yes, ma'am. Ciao.